As Steelers fans know all too well, this team has kind of been stuck in the middle for the last few years ever since Big Ben Roethlisberger retired. When the franchise GOAT walked away after the 2021 season, the Steelers have kind of had a revolving door at quarterback ever since, and they've unfortunately wasted some very good and talented Steelers rosters, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But now with Aaron Rodgers under center for year 2 in Pittsburgh and an improved supporting cast around him, this could be the Steelers' best chance to contend since they were led by Big Ben. But is that actually the case? Let's take a look and break it down today. In the mid-2010s, Big Ben led the most prolific offense in the NFL, partnering with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell to form the Killer Bees. The trio put some video game-like numbers up for the better part of a half-decade before they crumbled due to egos and emotions. Those teams never quite got over the hump, and it feels like the Steelers haven't had a team that was able to contend at that level ever since. Big Ben walked away in 2021, and in came in the Kenny Pickett era in 22. But Mitch Trubisky started week 1 that year, despite Kenny Pickett being a first-round draft pick, and he only lasted 3.5 games before being benched for the rookie. The pieces around Kenny Pickett were not incredible, but he was awful in year 1, throwing 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions in 12 starts. However, in crunch time situations, he showed enough in late-game heroics to earn a job in 2023. The Steelers were winning early in 2023 and had won enough for the Steelers and Kenny Pickett to stay in the mix, but Pickett looked awful. The year 2 leap Steelers fans were anticipating never showed, and Pickett lost his job in week 14 after an ankle injury. Trubisky got 2 starts and looked bad enough for Tomlin to turn it over to Mason Rudolph with 3 games left and a slim chance at the playoffs. Rudolph won all 3 games and earned the starting spot over a healthy Kenny Pickett heading into the playoffs. In 2024, Justin Fields started the first 6 games, winning 4 and looking like a legitimate starting quarterback. However, he was replaced by a healthy Russell Wilson in week 7, who immediately came in and went 5-1. Wilson and the Steelers crumbled late and staggered into the playoffs before getting walloped by the Ravens. A year ago, the Steelers looked the most competent they had in years, and it was thanks to the leadership and play from the great Aaron Rodgers. The roster had some big gaps, including a second wide receiver, a second corner, and some offensive line depth. However, Rodgers did enough to help this team win the AFC North. Between 2021 and 2025, the Steelers have wasted the prime years of an elite defensive core. TJ Watt put up a record-breaking 22.5 sack Defensive Player of the Year season. Cam Hayward played elite interior defensive line in his late 30s, and a few all-pro seasons from Minkah Fitzpatrick went to waste. This defense was so good that the offense just needed to be around league average for this team to compete, but they were never able to get that job done. A lot of it comes down to coaching. Mike Tomlin is a defensive specialist head coach, and the Steelers notoriously had awful offensive coordinators throughout the Mike Tomlin and Big Ben recent history. Artie Smith was a 2-year failure, and Matt Canada is still never able to show his face in Pittsburgh ever again. Now, with an offensive-minded head coach like McCarthy, one whose philosophy is pushing the ball downfield vertically, I think the Steelers' offense should look a lot more efficient and productive. Heading into this year, the defense is on good as paper, as it has been since Big Ben retired. The edge rush trio is the best in the NFL, and the front 7 is one of the league's best. The secondary has also been improved from a group that put up fantastic numbers last year. The leadership on the defensive side of the ball should let some of these stars flourish. Offensively, Rodgers should be comfortable and have more chemistry with some of his targets this year, like DK Metcalf. The Steelers were never able to challenge this defense with multiple vertical threats a year ago, as Metcalf was only the real option. Michael Pittman Jr. is going to make this defense have to make some tough decisions about who they want to take away and who gets more attention. Rodgers should also have more time in the pocket this year with an improved offensive line. I think Max Hennichor in the first round was one of the best sneaky picks of the draft. No, this team isn't the Killer Bee Steelers, but that's not the comparison. The comparison is every Steelers team since Big Ben retired, and looking at the quarterback situation, the supporting cast, the coaching, and the roster as a whole, I genuinely think this is the Steelers' best chance at contend since they were led by number 7. What do you guys think, and how far do you think the Steelers team is able to go? Don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know what video you want to see next.